So today what we are going to, the next class I'll surely take up a grammar part. Okay. So this, in today's writing task, what we are going to focus is persuasive writing. Where do you find mostly this persuasive writing? It's something, a very common form of writing. Where can you find this? My any idea?
In an argumentative writing
Okay.
or in a debate.
Yeah. Sure. Correct. Then arguments of writing in a debate. Okay. Then in advertisements. Right.
Yes.
It's a persuasion through words. It's not a physical persuasion, but a persuasion through words. So this, actually, as I told you, when we were, what we have done all this far, the first one, whether it be a narrative or rather, what it had been narrative, it is informal only. You can't even expect any formal tone there. But when it comes to cause and effect, it is totally formal tone. But when it comes to this one, when we're talking about persuasive writing, actually it is a combination of both formal and informal tone. See, when you see in advertisements, the jingles and the wordings, catchy words that are used, we can't insist that it should be formal. It can be informal also. Okay, if you don't agree, please tell me. Do you agree with that?
Yes, but the writings don't really need to have the jingles and things.
Yeah, what is it, my dear?
Well, I agree that it doesn't have to be that it can be informal sometimes, but I don't think all the writings have a jingle in it.
Yeah. So it can be, yeah, that's correct. It can be a mixed form like. So we just, today let's focus on what are the specific features of persuasive writing. Because it's also a very important form of writing which is quite used in examination point of view for students.
Okay.
I'm going to present this. Is it visible to you?
Yes.
Actually, this is the main purpose of this persuasive writing, that is to convince someone to act a certain way or do something. That is the main purpose of a persuasive writing. Okay, so what, there are different techniques to be used in doing so. What kind of argument did you make? See, this is the very important. How do you convince people? Have you ever tried convincing people?
Uh, well, I have wrote a persuasive writing before.
Have you ever done this?
Yes, I've wrote a persuasive writing before.
Okay. So have you, not only in writing tasks, through verbally also, have you ever tried to convince someone something? Now, for example, I'll tell you, you need a new mobile phone, but your dad says, okay, that mobile phone is not required for you. You are a child and you have lots to learn and that specific features. So you will have to go your out of the way to convince him that this is useful for you. Anything it can be, okay. Have you ever tried to convince anyone?
Mm,
No,
no, not much.
not much. Okay. Now, This making someone convince is also very. For example, have you ever thought about the job of a salesperson? Okay, he has this hideous task of make believe. He has the hideous task of making the customers believe that, oh, so and so product is very useful for you. Right? In advertisement, you can see that. Now, see here what is going to be done. In persuasive writing, a writer, okay, please read it out, my dear.
In persuasive writing, a writer takes a position and convinces the reader to believe or do something.
For or against you and tries to convince the reader to believe something. This is the main purpose of persuasive writing. So always remember in your mind, what is the purpose of this piece of writing? It is to make others convinced. Okay. Now, the where do you find persuasive writing? Now, this is another question. First, the question is why do we? What is the purpose of the persuasive writing? And now comes where do you find persuasive writing? Can you read it out?
In advertisements to get the reader to buy a product, in newspapers, magazines, essays, and in other texts to get the reader to accept a point of view, in speeches, petitions, and political cartoons to convince readers to believe in a certain political viewpoint, on blogs, web pages, and social media sites to convince the reader to subscribe or to follow the author.
Yeah. So this now recently we have been using this persuasive technique in web pages, in blogs, to convince the reader to subscribe or to follow the author. So this is the latest, place where or the purpose where we are using this persuasive writing. So you must have got an idea of what is persuasive writing, what is the purpose of persuasive writing, where it is normally used. Right, even in the debates conducted by the politicians, they will try to convince the people that what they have done is correct or what they are going to do is correct. Have you heard about Mark Antony's speech?
No.
It is actually in William Shakespeare's one character is Mark Antony. But when we talk about this persuasive words, that is when we talk about the power of words, the power of delivering words, of course we can't forget the power of Mark Antony. Mark Antony was actually um, uh, in, I think Shakespeare's Brutus was, there are two modifications of Brutus, but in this actually the Brutus and Mark Antony, they were not in good terms, and Brutus gets killed. When Brutus gets killed, the people totally, they were really very angry. Okay, they were really, really angry, and the mob, they were ready to do anything to kill, to destroy, to damage. And those people, when they were collected, Mark Antony, through his beautiful speech, he was able to persuade the entire mob in favor of him. But he never said that Brutus is a bad man or he is a very a dangerous fellow. But he kept on saying, okay, but Brutus is a very noble man. Yes, Brutus is. So this, but he made the people think against him. But in between, he was giving this candy. You all believe that he is a good person, okay? But you know what he did, and again he will say everything. At the end of the speech, the people who are ready to kill anyone, people who are ready to destroy the whole nation for this person, totally got changed against him. So that there lies the power of words. You see, and he was so he was that, why do we call it so powerful is because you think about that angry mob. It was that angry mob that was being turned totally against, for whom they were ready to raise the arms. Totally, they were trying to after the speech, they were ready to kill that person. So there lies the power of words. Okay, so that all lies in our hands. How far you are able to influence people, how far you are able to convince people. Convincing is the important factor in persuasive writing. Examples are given. Read newspaper.
No, I don't read newspapers.
Editorials you can find in advertisements, speeches, petitions, political cartoons, editorial letters, blogs, tweets, Facebook advice columns. Okay, now I'm not talking about, you may not be reading our newspapers, editorials and all. What about Facebook? Have you ever seen this persuasive writing? Do you use Facebook, FB?
No.
Oh my lord. So which one do you use in this political cartoons? Have you seen? Not the
I've seen them in like the history textbooks.
Okay. Do you think that they are able to persuade you to do something?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Okay. What are some topics that you make argue or debate over? Students should be required to go to school all year. The United States troops should leave Iraq. It is an old story, okay? Come up with at least 5. Okay. Now, first one, let us see the first topic. Students should be required to go to school all year. Can you give me 2 points in favor and 2 points against it, my dear, if it is a debate?
Okay, 2 points in favor would be that students can get more education and students can learn more. And 2 against points would be students won't have much breaks, and they'll feel like they have to go to school like every day.
Okay. So that is the 2 points in favor. So will you be able to convince people? There lies the importance of persuasive writing. You must be an expert in persuasion. A claim. So what you should, if you want to persuade anyone, the piece of writing, what is the format of that? First, a claim. Now, if I say that this and so person is a good person, or so product is the best in the world, that is a claim that I am making. Okay. If I say, for example, iPhone, is the last version of iPhone?
The last version is...
Even I have no much idea about
it. It's iPhone 12 Pro.
Okay. So you state that is the best in the world now, or that's the latest phone with all the modern techniques or features. Okay, whatever it is. Now you should give the evidence supporting the claim. What evidence you have? So you may pick up 2, 3 competitive phones, right, of the same range or the same value, and then you have to compare it and make then an opposing viewpoint with counter arguments. Now you see in the reviews and all. Have you ever gone through the reviews sometimes? So in the reviews, if you see if it is films or any products, you can see they will be pointing out 2 or 3 good points, and they may say, okay, although this is all there, but maybe it is not so, for example, it's not so user friendly. That must be something, they will be giving it as a handicap for that product. So then you have to have claim even to count. You should be able to oppose even that. An opposing viewpoint with counter arguments, and then a conclusion. Once again, please note down this, okay? The persuasive arguments, it should have a claim and evidence supporting the claim. You should give the reasons, not only just give a claim like this. An opposing viewpoint with counter arguments. So say it is of the, you can say state like this. It is generally stated that so and so product is very slow in feature, but that is not true. In case if you have a good internet connection, it works in a speed of you can give that. So you must be ready with a counter argument and then with that conclusion.
Okay.
Now, we'll go into detail about this. How to make a claim. A writer must express to turn a topic into a claim. For example, school start time, then a possible claim could be school should start later in the day. Remember, the claim has to be arguable, meaning it needs to have at least two sides. Now, if you state like this, school should start later in the day, there must be some section of students who agree with you. On the other hand, there will be others who are totally against it. Do you agree with this, or are you against it, my dear, this one? What is your school starting time?
My school starting time is at 8.
So, do you wish to start it later in the day or earlier in the day or the same time? How is it like?
I like it as the same time.
You're not thinking about later in the day, right? Now, if it is like later in the day, what arguments you will have against it?
You can say that if it's later in the day, then you can get some more sleep and you can relax more.
Okay.
You can also say that they will come more prepared because it's a bit more late.
Yeah, the departure time also will be delayed, right?
Yes, they won't have to rush.
Thesis statements or claims involve the following. The first, see, when it is an argument or when you are trying to convince others, don't say that I believe, in my opinion. This we say only if it is an opinion writing. Like, do you think that this is, it is an opinion writing question. In that case, you can go for I think, I believe. But in an argument, in a debate, there I is not an important factor. What is more important is the facts. Is it clear to you? And never think like it seems that shows that you are not very confident about it. Seems means only you think. It's not that you are very sure. So these are the phrases that you have to avoid when you are going for, in an argument writing. Yeah? Attempting two topics at once. Pick one and stick to it. Just stating a fact that this is something you plan to make an argument about. Now, suppose if you ask a small child, do you love your mother or your dad? The child will be very diplomatic. He will say, I love both my parents. Okay, so that stand cannot be taken in the case if it is an argument or if it is a debate. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
You have to pick one and then stick on to it. Example is given here. School should start later in the day. That is a claim. The 4 you see, starting later will allow more sleep for students, as you said. Rested students are good students. Okay. And against this, starting later will take away time from after school activities. Okay. So you have the opposing viewpoints here. Now you write a thesis statement. State the topic under consideration. Docs. Now you write a thesis statement. Step 2, issue. State the specific issue in the form of a debating proposition. Dot should be subject to leash laws. Dogs make great pets. Okay. Dogs should be subject to leash laws because they are natural wanderers. That is one topic given. I think that we will not understand better. But this one you see, here you can really understand how it should be done. First, you should make a claim. See, in the claim, please don't use, in my opinion, I think, don't use that. See how they have given the claim. All students in the... so what about you, Harry? Do you agree to the fact that students in US should learn a foreign language or need not learn a foreign language?
They should.
Do you learn a foreign language?
I did not now.
Okay. So the claim is all students in United States should learn a foreign language. That is a claim that you are making. Now the reason. First I said in the claim it must be reasoned out. Reason one, students in other countries learn foreign languages. Of course, see the students back in India. They are learning so many. So some of them are learning even French and German also in schools. So that is in other countries also they are learning foreign languages. And that is a reason you are giving. You should not end with reason. You should also have evidence. The proof also is very important. In a study of that is, even if you don't know, just write down like this in the research conducted or in the study conducted like that. Do you get me?
Yes.
It's not, I will expect that a student of in class should go and conduct a study now. But do this, that is a way of writing. We are just giving a way of writing. In a study of 20 countries, 17 countries required all students to learn at least one foreign language. So you are just supporting this. Now you see reason 2. Studying a language helps students excel in other subjects. Do you agree with this?
Learning another language can be useful.
Okay. And the evidence is one study found. So you can write that also. One study, in a latest research. All those phrases can be used. One study found that students who took foreign languages had higher grade point averages than those who did not. You are supporting your claim. And then reason 3. Knowing other languages is important in the business world. That is really very important, no relevant reason. See, there are so many people, I think Yemenis, when I was working there, they were all learning this Chinese Mandarin language along with English. So they used to go after class to those kind of language institutes to learn Chinese. So they are in the Middle East and I was like, and they are learning a language in the Far East. So I used to ask them, why are you learning this Chinese? And it's very difficult. To write Chinese is tough, really very tough. And speaking, I don't know how they are. Okay. So they told me like, all their parents, it seems they're all doing business with the aid of Chinese people. So they can't even imagine a business world without China. So it became so important for them to learn Chinese. So that also, and those people, I think Chinese, they don't encourage English. So they wanted a common platform, no? To be in the common platform, these people, they are trying to learn Chinese. Actually, in one way, China is encouraging people to learn their language. What we Indians do is normally, if you don't know, okay, the Chinese, they don't know, so what, or any other country, we go for English, right? We think English is a global language that everyone can use, and we are encouraging that, a common language. We don't expect others to come and learn our Hindi and do business with us. But China, maybe they have become so powerful in that business field also. That's why they are trying to not facilitate English language, but they're trying to facilitate their language. And they're making these Arab people to learn their language. So think about that. Knowing other languages is important in the business world. Evidence is companies are often international. Employees must be able to communicate with customers and with each other. Did you understand the pattern now?
Yes.
Do you have any doubt in this?
No.
This is the pattern. A claim, reasoning, at least 3 reasoning and evidence. See, now another point that I have to tell you is, in the introduction we have to make the claim. Okay? When then if you go for reasoning and evidence, it should be in one paragraph. Reason 1 and evidence must be in one paragraph. That is the second paragraph. Third paragraph, this should come, and in the conclusion you have said the claim. Again, repeat, the claim should be included in the introduction. Okay, and in the second paragraph you want reason 1 and evidence. Third paragraph, reason 2 and evidence. Fourth paragraph, reason 3 and evidence. And then you should have a conclusion reinstating the claim. In another words, not in the same words. If, for example, here see in the introduction we are given like this: all students in the United States should learn a foreign language. You can just change it. It is advisable for the students in for United States to learn a foreign language. Change it, but the idea must be the same. Okay.
Okay.
You can give a title. So look at the title of this article and reread the first paragraph. What is author's claim? Author's claim is done in the first paragraph. Okay, in your own words again. What are the author's reasons? Okay, that we need not go to that. Is an exercise to be done. The thing that when you do writing, please make sure you ask to yourself, what is the writer's purpose for writing this argument? Why does the writer want to convince the audience to accept the claim? You have the answers to these questions, only then your writing task will come. Always, whatever piece of writing you are doing, think about the audience. Only then start, my dear. You should have the audience in your brain always. So your kind of language that you use, the style that you use, the vocabulary that you use, all depends on for whom you are writing. Haven't you seen the children's book, right? When in the case of when your writers writing stories for children, he should think about their age. He should make it very simple for them. If he makes a child, if he use very tough words, the child, 2 or 3 times he may refer the dictionary. If he finds again and again difficult words, that kills the spirit of reading. So always make sure that your audience must be there. Who is going to read my writing work? Just read this, okay?
Okay, establish a position. Decide what your opinion is. Are you against mandatory recycling? Create a thesis statement. Make a claim and include several key facts to support your claim. Identifying supporting evidence. What evidence supports your claim? We use specific evidence and cite where you found it. Consider alternatives. What is the counter argument? How will you defend against an opposing viewpoint? Include a conclusion. Wrap up your argument, restate your claim, and summarize briefly any important ideas. Ask readers to take action. Revise and edit. Does your essay follow guidelines given? Did you check the rubric?
I'll show you the rubric. Okay, before that, let me. Now, we did not take more on the conclusion, right? So you have to wrap up the argument. As I told you, restate the claim. That should be done in the conclusion. add additional commentary, ask for readers to take action or change thinking. This is very important. Your conclusion should have this, to take action or change something. Okay, refrain from repeating information. That is really better. And the rubric is the last one here, provided one. See this one.
Do I read it?
Slowly you read in your mind, okay?
Okay.
Make sure that all this is being included in your persuasive essay. Make sure that you opposing viewpoints. Many people who believe that and then say, and there are arguments against it. That should be done.
Okay.
Okay, is it done?
Yes.